And hello, everyone out there. Yay! Thank you for all the follows and things we've had in the last few moments. It's great to have you along, and I'm going to jump straight into it and say hi to our awesome team of peoples. Hello, everyone. Hello, Cari. Hello, Murray. Hello, Nathan.
Hello.
Yay!
Hello.
It is hard to broadcast games on the internet. So if you're in chat that's right. So if you're in chat and you see something that's not working, like for instance, I'm completely muted now and no one's heard a single word I've said so far, let us know straight away. Or if the sync is terrible or whatever, then yeah. For some reason, Nathan sometimes goes black and white. I don't know why that is, but we're just
it's an artistic choice.
It is. We're enjoying it.
Just going through phases at the moment, so we're really just exploring his emotional depth of
That's
color.
Right. Absolutely.
I'm just trying to get my hair to look like my portrait. 1 sec.
It's lovely, wonderful portraits.
Next time I will be. Now, who's our artist? Cari?
Who's the artist, Cari? Tell us about this wonderful artist.
Yes, absolutely. His name is Isaac Wilson. He's a teacher like me, and he is also a very talented artist. And you're going to see his work a couple different times tonight, both in these awesome sprites that you see in our windows, as well as our character portraits, which will be showing up sometime.
Yes, very, very soon. Awesome. We're going to play some Dungeons and Dragons. Thank you for coming along on the journey with us. The reason we're doing this is, one, we're all just tragic Dungeons and Dragons fans. That's an Australian term, which means I'm almost embarrassingly enthusiastic about something. It's tragic. You can all use that now, all those people all over the world who are watching.
Thank you.
Ben is the D&D tragic.
Ben, you can use
Now, you can say Ben is a D&D tragic, and that's good. But if you say Ben is tragic, that's bad.
That's right. It's bad.
So you've got to add something in between.
Yeah.
Ben is
That's right.
to subject tragic.
That's right. Or Ben caused a family tragedy.
The Aussie lesson, guys.
That's right. There'll be many more of those things. When, as an Australian, you travel overseas, you tend to discover very quickly to read this expression, which means you just use some bit of obscure slang that we have no idea what you're talking about. So yeah, it's.
Well, I think we had that with going to the loo. They're like, the what?
Yeah.
The where? The going to the toilet, bathroom.
Absolutely. Going to the loo, skip to the loo. Yeah. Do you have a pair of togs? You know, because I need to chuck on my thongs and go for a dip.
Swim costume. Your swimmers are your togs.
Yes, that's
Can I
right.
say, Cari's level of disappointment growing is really amusing to me.
I did not. Okay, I will say I knew most of these. Togs, I had not heard.
I got to go down to the bottle-o and get myself a few tinnies.
That's right.
It's the funny,
you got to go to the bar and get a drink. Is that what that means?
Yeah.
No.
The bottle-o's bottle shop.
But being a New Zealander, of course, there are. I even have ones of my own that Australians can't understand, like Chillibins and
that's right, Chillibin.
Judderbuns.
Because he's New Zealandish. That's right. So
anyway,
yes,
D&D.
D&D. Yes, that's right.
Someone in the Twitch chat speaks Australian. So
Australian. Excellent. If you know to spell it like that, Australian. That's literally how it's pronounced. Yeah. This whole "or" thing that happens before it sometimes is just terrible. It's an anachronism and it's just not acceptable.
There's actually a book called Strine, spelled Strine, and you're like, gosh, that works. Sorry, Benjamin.
That's right. All right. Could everyone do a brief? If everyone wants to see the detailed character introductions that our wonderful players did last time, you can check out the recent activity on Syrinscape's Twitter and Facebooks, and find in our previous Zero session the wonderful long descriptions. But if everyone could give us another little brief description, starting with Cari, and then going down to Murray and then Nathan. So, Cari, tell us about your character. Oh, wrong person. There we are. Tell us about your character, Cari. Here's that wonderful portrait.
Yes. I am playing Kotira. She is a half-orc barbarian, and she really kind of keeps to herself. You will not know too much about her until we really get going here. She wears her hair pulled back, like you saw in the character portrait there. And is just kind of pretty stacked because she's a half-orc and she has been working as a mercenary. And then she meets the guys and we go from there.
Woohoo! Awesome. Thank you, Cari. Murray?
I am playing Pronos, the Perspicacious. Pronos is the author of a best-selling book and seminar series of Know Your Own Future, and he's a level 5 divination wizard. So if you like to envisage him very much as Gilderoy Lockhart, but with skill. Sorry, Kenneth Branagh. And so, yes,
shots fired.
He's shots fired across the bow. So he's a divination wizard level 5, and he has written several very, very successful best-selling books, mostly bought by his mum, about telling the future and seeing your own future. So he's put out some flyers, A, for a mission, and B, to attend his seminar series about Know Your Own Future. And both Grumnum and Kutira have turned up. He doesn't know which one they've turned up for. Seminar series. Haven't you? You've turned up with the piece of paper in your hand, I think.
Yes,
anyway,
indeed. I have been basically waiting for somebody to call my number because I got the little stub of a ticket in my hand. So
I knew you'd come. So
I think Kutira's turned up. Kutira's turned up for the mission. So brave adventurers needed. So that's the one. Yeah, and I believe Nathan's character Grumnan is turned up for the seminar series. Is that right?
Yep, I've turned up for the seminar series. So Grumnan is the leader of this group. So naturally, of course, he is a safety expert. He is dwarf, and he look, everybody, he bravely takes one step back in every situation, and defense is his number one priority. He is, he's going through a lot. Obviously the colors are displaying that emotional, disturbance that he has all the time. But ultimately, he is he's all about safety of himself. Yeah, that's it.
Fantastic.
And
but of course, that's why
I'm bravely playing the support character.
Yes.
Prevention is better than cure. So wanting to be safe is all about knowing what's coming.
The best offense is a good defense.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Totally.
And the best defense is more defense. So that's like.
So
the best defense is not being there when the danger.
That's right. That's right.
It's possibly not the best outline for a D&D party, but that's okay.
And the thing that I want everybody to know is that I have 5 simple rules that I like to follow through with my different stuff. So I'll be referring to those as we go through each encounter. Because they're very important that my teammates know as the leader of the group.
They're like rules of acquisition, but much shorter, in less numerous.
My favorite is rule number 1, Benjamin, which I'll just refer to now, which is stand behind the hero, and in case of large monsters, stand behind a few heroes.
Excellent. Fantastic. You're going to need additional meat shields if you're going to have a few heroes to stand behind. So perhaps you should.
Well, I've got one for behind and one for in front, so I'm fine. So
that's right.
And that goes to number 2, which is strive to be mediocre, not first and never last. There is safety in the middle.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Words
I
to
love
live
it.
by. Strive to
I
be
love him
mediocre.
already.
I love it implies that you're not mediocre, that you're actually below mediocre, and you're striving to get to mediocre.
Oh,
yeah. Strive to be mediocre. And also, if you're in head, fall back, because you don't want to be first, because first stands out, and when you stand out, people attack you.
Absolutely. That sounds like the tall poppy syndrome, which is a real thing in Australia, believe it or not. Absolutely. Ah, fantastic. So we're going to place you guys in a tavern. I'm going to start up the Syrinscape thing. Shout out as well to D&D Beyond, who are able to deliver into our stream the amazing look of character sheets, and to Nathan's amazing technical skill, which has set up all these incredible overlays. It's really remarkable work, Nathan. Thank you.
Now, before we start, Benjamin, I have to tell you that I have rolled my portent. So as a divination wizard, every long rest I'm allowed to roll 2 d20s, and I record those scores. So I rolled a 17 and a 1, and any during the next period before the next long rest, I can impose those numbers and I can replace any attack roll, saving throw, or ability check made by me or a creature I can see with those rolls. So just letting you know,
you can give a bad guy a 1.
That sounds amazing.
I can impose a natural fumble. So.
That's fantastic.
Wow.
So what I really need to do is to tempt you to sort of use that natural fumble at a time that seems incredibly vital, but in the end turns out to be completely non-consequential.
Yes.
Excellent, good. Okay, my mission as a DM is clear.
Yes. So as soon as you use it, it's going to be like, and out of the shadows comes the dragon.
Exactly right.
But it's going to be like a goblin.
Excellent. So the deal you made, Murray, with the half-orc butler Verthech is to gather your brave adventurers and bring them to Albrecht, his master's mansion, to accept and find out the details of this important mission that you're to gather at least 4 or 5 brave adventurers together. So I'll place you guys in the tavern, and perhaps you can attempt to identify perhaps Cari's character there as Katira, as they're sort of waving a small slip of paper, and Nathan's character Grumnum is clutching his motivational talk flyer. And you guys, you see them enter, sort of looking confused and clearly looking around for someone. Murray. So
right.
what do you do?
Because times are tight, and I don't have any front of house people that aren't me. And I do quite like the flamboyance of So I have the banner, which has the whole, well, actually that portrait and bestseller.
Do you have a stall in this tavern, Murray? Is that what you're saying?
A little stacks of
Stall's a bit. I've got a bit of a partition, which I set up, and I kind of cordon off a couple of tables. I've slipped a silver piece to the bar to let me do this. I wouldn't say I booked a room.
Book signing. I love it.
There's 16 places for the seminar series, so so when you walk in and I see you clutching, I knew you were coming because obviously that's just my. But I also can see that you're clutching pieces of paper, and I puff up my blue sleeves, and I sort of twirl my cape to catch your attention and call out, right this way for the best-selling books seminar series. Know your own future. There's still a few seats available. Anyone else who's interested? And I think everyone else in the bar pointedly ignores me.
Excellent.
I squint my eyes, and I go over and I'm like, "Well, you the one that put these out?"
I am. Have you come for the seminar series?
It said on here, adventurers needed. Is that what you are looking for?
Oh yes, of course I knew you were here for the other adventure. Yes. Yes, we need to go and talk to Albrecht. It is a mighty adventure. Of course I know what sort of adventure it's going to be, but it's certainly one that requires adventurers, and I think you fit the bill.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna go get a drink at the bar. You just tell me when you need me, and we can head out. All right?
Soon. It will be soon that I need you, and yes. If you are a good adventurer, I'm sure you will earn a chapter in my next book.
Ooh.
I'm honored, and I walk over to the bar.
Quick question: is there a second room which the seminar is going to be in?
It's more of one of those portable partitions. So I've kind of come in with my banner, and I'll set my banner up, and then I put my portable partitions across 2 tables in the corner of the tavern. So there is a little bit of bleed from the noise. If I was that kind of wizard, I could probably cast a barrier of silence, but I'm not that kind of wizard.
Would you characterize this as a quiet corner? So I should go to the quiet corner mood in Syrinscape, Murray?
As much as possible, it would like it to be a quiet corner.
I can do that. I'm going to push the button. Is there? It sounds like there's an open fireplace. You got yourself on a warm spot, so it's a homely place where people feel they're able to open up and share their futures and their pasts with you.
Yes, and I did get there early to try and get the best spot. So yes, definitely.
So after walking to the bar and actually getting a drink for myself, the barman was very disappointed when I asked for a water, because one cannot be too prepared, because you always have to be alert. Rule 5. Is alert and always check for traps. So I don't want to daze myself with any kind of alcoholic substance. So it's water for me. And I get a large stein of it. So I've got a large, like,
Wow.
big boy's cup of water.
Right.
That is genius.
Stein of water.
That's dedication to role playing, having props ready to go. So I'm going to get that, and I'm going to go up, and I'm going to be like, so I'm here for the series. I believe it says here something about safety. Is that correct?
Know your own future. So yes, very much about being prepared, because of course, as we all know, and as I say in chapter 2, preparation is better than cure.
Oh, I too myself am a writer. I've prepared some work before, but you know, it's as you are.
And so you come for the seminar series.
Yes.
Yeah,
of course.
Come, take a seat in my specially prepared seminar room.
And when will the other people be coming?
I've made my way back over to the table, and I put my feet up on something. The table, the chairs around me.
Wow, the dwarf is
and
now
I'm just like
feet on shoulders.
Excellent.
So, has anyone else turned up for my seminar series, or have I got?
No, there's been no other shows. You were supposed to gather, 4 or 5 great grand heroes for this important mission, and then bring them over to Albrecht's Manor, which you've been given the address of by Verthech, the half-orc butler. But it does seem like there's only these 2 here, and one of them, in fact, hasn't shown up for the important adventure, but for the seminar series. So perhaps you'll have to convince him of his future somehow.
There's that lovely awkward silence of 2 people waiting expectantly for the thing to start, and the host doing
like
the
a
whole
first date.
Just a few minutes more, just a little bit longer. We'll give those latecomers just a chance to arrive.
Yes, that's right. It's like,
Might be the weather, I say, looking out at the clear skies outside.
Trying to catch the bartender's attention, who I pass the silver coin to cover. Some snacks.
snacks.
nice.
Some kind of salty pretzel goodness, please, just to keep to stop these from leaving.
That's right.
And then I'm thinking constantly of a how do I talk my way out of this? And I strike upon the plan, which is I'm terribly sorry. I think that the rest of our attendees might have gone to an alternate venue, which is actually I wink, at Katara, and I say, which is where we're headed. And for you, my good sir, it is a much safer venue for the talk of the future, which I think I see adventure in your future.
Katira's looking very, very hard at her little stub of paper, and she's not the best reader in the world. She's like, I really thought it said here. You think they went to another place?
I love that your piece of paper says adventure, and that's it. Like, it's just like...
Yeah, it says adventure, and then the name of this bar. What's the name of this bar, Ben?
Yeah. Oh, what's the name of this bar? I think that sounds like a question for Chat. Chat, what's the name of the bar we're in currently? I think it's an important detail.
To make a flyer. I need to make a flyer for my
actual flyer.
Know your own future at such and such a bar, which would be calling.
Right.
Literally such and such a bar.
Limited.
We are in Saltmarsh.
The Adventurers Bar.
Absolutely, the Adventurers Bar. Whew. Wow. Evil Dice Monkey, fantastic.
I just love it. It's like, I don't have some generic alcohol beverage, please.
These guys are really setting the bar high.
They are.
Yeah. Luckily, you're a half-orc, so poor old dwarf cleric might have some. It's a heightist bar. That's right.
Oh, that's right.
Around it, I'm looking at these 2 guys, and I'm noticing they are both very small and very weak-looking, and I'm concerned for the fate of this mission. But I'm just trying to enjoy my beer.
But you notice that I have a large shield and hammer, so I am a chunky monkey, and would be
Can I do a perception roll to see if I notice her eyeing off my flimsy blue-clad frame?
Yes, definitely. We'll make it a DC 10 because she's not hiding the fact that she feels concerned.
Yeah, no,
I make it. I roll a 12 plus 6, 18. Yes. So I make. I said, I see that you can see that you are the strength that we need, that your
Damn right, I'm the
mighty
strength
muscles.
we need.
Yes, I knew you were. As soon as I saw you, I knew that you were the strength we need. You are the adventurer that is required. But every adventure,
Yeah.
yes, that's right. And every adventure, of course, my dear sir, needs someone whose primary concern is the safety of themselves and their fellow adventurers. Don't you think? I think that could be a chapter in my new book.
I love that you're the guy who kind of like states the exact obvious. Like, it's just like, you look like you find safety behind defense. As I stand with shield,
Yes.
and you're like, yeah, how did you know?
He's like one of those mentalists, isn't he? He's amazing.
It is. I'm sensing a G name.
Male.
It sounds like you related to someone.
I sense a male relative.
That's right.
Has anybody here had a brother at any time?
Yeah.
I'm not that charlatan. It's all in my book, chapter 7.
It is.
So I think we should journey, adventure, if you will, towards the mansion and meet with Bertha, who has a safety-oriented adventure for us to go upon, which needs safety and strength.
That's right. Fantastic.
Does this job pay well, you think? Is that for a question for that guy? What would you say is
yes.
it?
Oh yes, and if it goes well, there of course will be some kind of royalty negotiation for being a character in the book. My publishing is.
How much is the seminar paying? You're paying me to come.
No.
He's paying me for adventure, dwarf.
Yeah.
I don't know why you're here.
You're here. And along the way, we will talk about how you can know your own future. So I can see that you will be safe when you are near this half-orc adventurer. So I think, therefore, you should stay close to her. No. Look at those mighty muscles. And have you got your axe nearby?
Katira's carrying her axe, I'm sure. Yeah.
Can I just say?
And the axe. I mean, you are brother and sister of the. Yours is an axe or a hammer?
Mine is a giant hammer.
Hammer. Yes.
And when you hit something really hard, a little stop comes out of it because it's got a little stop written into the actual inner piece of the hammer.
Yes.
Right. So
Amazing.
I think that you will be safe in the company of this half orc.
Yes, well, that goes to my rule 1, which is to stand behind the hero, and in case of large monsters, stand behind a few heroes.
Excellent.
Well, if I may say so, I could be that second hero for you to stand behind, but I certainly have found the hero for both of us to stand behind in this half-orc maiden Cari.
And it also
Fantastic.
that goes with my rule 4, which is never to be alone and don't trust anybody.
Well, come with us now, and you shan't be alone.
Excellent. So you guys make your way out of the tavern. There were some fantastic tavern names. Thank you, everyone. The Salty Dog, the Plot Point. I like very much.
I love the plot point.
The
That's
plot
my
point.
favorite.
Yes.
Who said the plot point? Millie. Thank you.
Yeah,
That's my
really,
favorite.
really genius.
Thanks,
Like that. What's this? Oh, it's the story hook.
Story Hook Manor. That's right. So you make your way to you approach this. I have lost the ability to speak English. Apparently, the manor. That's right, which I just mentioned just previously. You make your way. That's right. You make your way to this manor, and you were expecting, with the word manor, perhaps something quite sort of flashy. One would say, large, sort of ostentatious, slightly pretentious Corinthian columns out the front. A well manicured lawn with a gradually curving path. Going from the front gate to the front door. perhaps this manor was once like this, but the manor now is a dishevelled mess. Clearly, the roof has come in a little bit on the left-hand side, and the rain has made its way down the wall, decaying the window frames, a couple of which have given out, a couple of panes of glass. Clearly, on the other side, there's been a little bit of effort to try and maintain sort of weatherproofness, that maybe abandon half of the manor and just keep a few rooms functioning well for the occupant. The grass has long since seen any kind of manicuring, and has grown hairy and dishevelled, even dried out in places. The front gates themselves, one hangs askew, no longer securing the expected wealths that are inside this manor. But so it's a little bit worrying in terms of the size of the reward you might be able to receive. But nevertheless, this was your mission, and the plot is pointing in this direction. So you make your way up the path to the front door, and there's a chain there and a hook, which perhaps presumably had a bell on it at some point. But maybe you'll need to knock.
Ben, on just following my rule 5, I alert and always check for traps. Can I check for traps, please?
Check for traps on the front door of this manor. That's fantastic. Yeah, so before you knock, you're going to investigate the porch and things like that. Yeah, give me a perception check.
I'm sure that my fellow party members will just enter, but I will check for traps after they have gone through.
Being extraordinary in your rogue skills, I suppose you've got an excellent trap sense.
I turn over to him. I'm like, Dwarf, what are you doing?
Plus six perception. That's good.
And I go along and I go along and say, look, let me tell you a small thing. A friend of mine once died to a trap. They're very dangerous. So just
I look around. I say, we're already through. If there was a trap, we would have sprung it. Yeah.
Well, yes. That's the
Ah,
fact.
you see, I knew there weren't going to be any traps because
He knew there weren't going to be any traps.
Oh, well, I rolled a 1. So, so Benjamin, a 1 plus 6 is still very high.
Yeah, it is still nevertheless a 1. I think Nathan's character Grumnan becomes convinced that there is a trap on the front door. There's a loose board on the balcony that you'd have to cross in order to get to the front door and to knock on it. And you're convinced this is a trap, Grumnan.
So I say, quickly, behind her.
If I cast mending on the bell rope, will that mend the bell?
I don't think it does. It certainly won't make a bell appear, is your problem there. You could, however, mend the broken board and
I will
tell
mend
him
the
that it's no
broken
longer...
board, and then I will cast Mage Hand, and I will get Mage Hand to knock, so that
Excellent.
It can knock on the door, and we can be safe. And I will definitely be standing behind Katira, ready to leap out.
Excellent. So you cast mending on the board, and it quickly, the nail which had sprung out, the board's become drier and drier, and twisted itself up and yanked the nail out of the joists beneath it, and it did look like perhaps a pressure trigger, not a very well hidden one, but now it looks flush and safe, and no one's going to stub their toe on it. And you're going to mage hand on the front door as well?
Yes.
To knock?
Mm-hmm.
We also have that awkward moment where I push Cari's character.
So that's a way too powerful a spell. I'm just using Mage Hand.
To knock on the door.
To gently do.
It's a coded knock that you've been given.
The secret knock that we agreed to. That maybe they didn't.
Excellent. You knock on the front door, and Verthech, the tall, good-looking, though somewhat slim Katira, half-orc butler, appears at the front door and says, "Hello, gentlemen.
I step around Katira.
Yes.
I'm one that please. Hello, how are you? I have brought very, very good adventurers. And I see that this will be enough to do what it is.
Enough? Master Albrecht said you should be bringing 5 people. At least 5. This is an important mission.
I have. One, I point to Grumnum, and then I point to Katira, and then her left arm and her right arm.
Ah.
1, 2,
3,
4.
4.
Oh, I see what you mean. He is looking very buff. Very pleasant to meet you. My name is Verthech. Who am I having the pleasure to meet here?
I'm quick. Just as Murray's character steps forward, I push him to the side just so he doesn't step on the trap.
Ah, yes.
So that might slightly throw off my very courteous bow with full deep cape, almost in the style of Dracula. And then I stand to one side and I introduce. And this, of course, is our safety officer, Grumnum. And 3 in 1, Katira.
I say to the guy in Orc, well met, I'm Katira.
Oh.
Let's see how much Orky knows.
Oh. What do you reckon? What do you reckon, chat? Do you reckon he's lost his Orcish, or he's from a different tribe?
Be so sad. He can't have lost his Orcish.
That's his heritage.
Yes, exactly.
It's real.
What do you reckon?
First battle, start.
Right.
So you say well, nice to meet you, or what was it? And I'm Katira.
Well met. I'm
well
Katira.
met. I am Katira. He sort of you see his eyes suddenly glaze over, and a small tear appears in the corner of his eyes. He hears the language of his mother, who long lost to him, and he looks slightly awkward all of a sudden, and sort of steps sort of gently from one foot to the other, as if he tries to It's like, oh,
that is the saddest thing that ever happened. Katira looks very sad all of a sudden.
Katira's like been watching like dog videos all day, like that kind of sad, just like. Oh. He knows that he wants to say something back, but he can't because his mum died at such a young age and he wasn't taught all.
That's right. He just wasn't taught Orc. He has no. He can't even sort of form an inept attempt at sort of the weather is fine or something.
And all you did was remind him that his mother died.
So he's having that.
As we walk in, I kind of
cradle.
I put my hand.
Cari.
As we walk in, I put my hand on his shoulder just to kind of pat him. I just wanted to it's okay. I understand.
Mm-hmm. He's never going to wash that shoulder again, Katira. That's right.
Oh.
Just remind you, it's contact with his people, and yeah. Wow. There's a little sort of sweaty mark there for now. So he's
leaves everywhere.
That's right. That's beautiful.
Lots of little sweaty marks and fingerprints. Like, I'm very aware of this and definitely try not to go near those areas. Yeah, because like oil,
germs.
Very oily.
That's right. He guides you into the manor, and the main staircase going upstairs was a grand, double wide staircase that split and then swept to the left and the right up to the viewing platform. Most of the staircases completely collapsed on the left-hand side, and off to the right, where the manor is slightly more maintained, there's actually a sort of a haphazard sort of couple of ladders, perhaps stolen from a local building site, sort of nailed and roped together to form access to upstairs. You, however, don't have to brave this dangerous traverse, and are shown into a waiting room. And Verthech does his best to offer you a drink. He plays the barman beautifully. He has a beautifully laid out and organized bar with beautiful crystal. Bits and pieces of crystal. There's at least 3 glasses, so he's going to be able to satisfy the needs there. And you each take a drink, I presume. Grumnum takes water. Katira adds a second beer to the day. Excellent. And what does Pronos drink, Murray?
Well, whatever he can get, but if required, he will request wine, of course, the best vintage available.
That makes Verthech feel embarrassed all over again. But he struggles to fulfill. He says he has an elderly port which you might want to partake if wine was on the menu.
Well, I knew you would. Yes.
So, quick question. We've walked into this guy's house, right? And we've reminded him of his dead mother. Then we've gone in and asked for stuff that he doesn't have available because he's tried his hardest to keep this bar stocked, but he just hasn't been able to fill it. So we've just gone along and shown him that he is inept at his job and he can't cultural language. Is that what we're saying about?
Yeah, pretty much. That's right. You've destroyed Vertheg's day. He's going to go back to his small room. He has one of those tiny sort of English manor rooms, which is like literally sort of 3 feet by 6 feet with just the bed in it, and he's just going to lie down and weep for the next sort of.
Before this campaign is over, we're going to liberate Vertheg.
Yes.
What we've done, Nathan, is just made him the perfect client for my next seminar series.
Ah, yes, absolutely. Find yourself.
Which I think I've come up with now is improve your future. Yes.
Fantastic.
So you're going to help with just making like what the little money he has that he's saved up to kind of get himself out of this situation. You're going to take as fees to teach him on how to do it, but not teach him.
It's all about perspective.
Oh, absolutely. You've got to spend to reap. You know, you've got to reap to sow. That's what it is. Yes.
You need
Excellent.
emotions when you play role-playing games, and this is the emotion of just watching. Yeah.
Financial exploitation. I don't know that counts as an emotion, but yeah, I'll get it. I think you meant you need to sow before you reap, Benjamin, as opposed to reap.
Yes, absolutely, definitely the opposite way of what I said. Yes.
Don't call the GM on stuff. He has dice to roll. And
speaking of which, Mary, would you give me a? I like that, Cari. Would you give me a Constitution check, Mary, to not wince and choke as you take your first swig of this port, which is very off.
Yeah, I'm used to bad port. I roll a natural 20.
That's an important role.
When it comes to bad wine,
Yes.
Okay, you just swallow it as if it's the most beautiful port you've ever tasted it. You even do it slightly in slow motion. Yeah.
Yeah, it touches my lips, and I think I then actually simply press my lips down and pretend to take a bigger. So it's like, but in fact, I've only kind of taken the slightest touch to know what it's like.
Yeah, little do people know that you've actually lost your sense of taste. Probably 10, 15 years ago, and you can down anything as the best wine possible and just roll with it, you know.
Well, on the pathway of restoring Vertheg's self-esteem and helping to make some life choices that are going to be beneficial to him, this is at least a step. So well done. Well done, Pronos, for giving that gift.
Yeah.
I definitely, yeah. And I certainly part of the confidence to restore some of that deflated pride that I inflicted before.
Beautiful.
What pride? That face.
Oh, fantastic. So we're going to have Albrecht enter the room now. I'm going to use the one-shots that come with the Salvage Operation sound set, the official sounds for this Chapter 4 of the Ghost of Saltmarsh adventure. And your job in chat is to guess which Dungeons & Dragons staffer voiced this voice. And we shall reveal it next week, because I thought that would be kind of fun. So... a man who you can only presume is Albrecht comes into the room. He's a middle-aged gentleman. His clothes have definitely seen better days. Perhaps they were in fashion a couple of years ago, which either means he's owned them since then and hasn't bought new ones, or perhaps he's picked them up in an op shop. His face is lined with stress, but a glimmer of hope as well on this fine day where your brave party comes to assist him. His hair, which has started to grey and started to thin at the front, is gathered together in a ponytail at the back of his head, and he has at least his pride and joy, his neatly trimmed moustache, which is like the perfect sort of opposite of the staircase. It's a beautiful and well kempt, and just starting to show a few bits of salt and pepper greyness in it. He hurries in, assesses the party quickly, doesn't show any sort of signs of disappointment about the thin numbers, and says,
"Thank you for meeting with me. Thank you. I'm Albrecht Dralian. I need brave souls such as yourselves to complete a salvage operation for me."
Do you respond?
We
I
will.
look at Pronos. Yeah.
That's us. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So your left arm is 4 and your right arm is 5.
Yes. He then continues.
Certainly. My ship, the Emperor of the Waves, has been spotted adrift in the southern sea, apparently abandoned. I need you to retrieve a magic box, which is on board.
Water?
And both.
Hang on.
I look over at Grumnum and I'm like, haven't you ever sailed before?
That's not safe.
I roll my eyes. I say, not a lot in this world is safe, dwarf.
I'm sure you will make our salvage operation safer by simply being there and standing behind Cari.
But water, I look at Katara, but I can't swim.
Well, then just don't. Okay. So Katira has been pretty rough on Grumnum, and for the first time, kind of like looks at him with just a little bit of like pity, and just like, well, just don't fall off the boat.
I'm going to go through my scroll of cleric spells to see if I have a safety for boats. I'm just like, go to the appendies and like, boats, water, swim, breathe underwater. I'm just reading through my appendies of spells that I have available to me to see if I'm able.
Albrecht, do you have anything that could assist us on our salvage operation? And clearly we have someone here who is primary concern is safety, which I think is very important. In fact, I know it is. And I think that, we've clearly got the strength, the safety concerns, and well, knowledge of what's going to happen. So I'm sure that we will be successful.
Yes, he says. He says this.
I offer you a 10% fee to recover it. 10,000 gold pieces. As a gesture of good faith, here's an advance.
And he holds out a bag to you, and counts out for each of you 20 platinum pieces worth 200 gold pieces. Perhaps you can purchase yourself any equipment or assistance you need out of this cash.
Quick question, Cari, does your character's jaw drop as far as yours just did?
Oh yeah, for sure. Katira, this might surprise you, but Katira is not a great hider of her emotions. kind of just is there.
That's fantastic. For chat, by the way, just interrupt momentarily. For chat, yes, we are struggling technically in terms of the sync of the voices to the video, so that's where it's going to be today, I think. And we are taking steps for future broadcasts to improve that sync, which is mainly me buying an even more powerful computer. But continue with the role playing. Thank you for the comments, by the way.
I will turn to Katira and say, I told you it would pay well, did I not?
Yeah, I guess you did. Can you really see the... I like kind of lean closer to him, like, can you really see the future, or is this just a big old grift?
I can see the future.
How much?
I believe you wholeheartedly.
Yeah, this is where Murray, but it was like, roll perception, and Murray's like, yes, and you roll a 1.
Yeah, right.
I wasn't going to use that on PC rolling, but I could technically.
Yes, you could. That's terrifying.
So does Pronos, you actually are a diviner of some kind, are you? Or
divination wizard. So
yeah. Okay, good. So it's not completely without justification. That's right.
No. I can see snaps and can change what happens to suit what I say is going to happen. So I can even though I don't know what's going to happen, I can affect the future. So I can make it look
yes. Like oh, I love it. That's right. And you get to do these 2 dice rolls every single day. Is that right?
Every long rest.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So every day of your normal living life, you're able to dramatically affect outcomes so they match your intent.
The best way to know the future is to create.
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely.
20 platinum pieces. That's more than I have ever held in my life at once. So,
Do you feel safe now?
so I've created my financial blanket, which I will wrap around myself at night.
I saw financial security in your future.
I love it. Happens. You're like, yeah, I saw this. Of course, it was divine.
Amazing.
He says, do you have any questions?
What's the box look like? You said it was magic. Is it big? Is it small? Does it look like it's magic? Does it look like a normal box?
Wow, that's
The
some
box is made of shiny blue
Yeah, that's what
metal.
she said.
The box is in a crate that can be easily broken open, but the box itself can only be opened with a password known only to me.
Well, what's the password? That seems like it's important.
And the promissory notes in there can only be redeemed by me. So don't consider stealing them. They're worthless except to me.
He says, I have already gone ahead and ordered a ship, a crew to carry you to search for this vessel. They have been charged with the task of returning the vessel, as will you be. It can be sailed by members of this crew, but I would like you to first secure the box, which I haven't informed them about. I'm very suspicious of people, and this is very important to me. The box contains all of my worldly possessions and value, sadly lost some years ago.
Quick question.
Kotira looks around. She's like, "We can tell." And at the gross state of the manor.
That's right.
I'm going to look at the orc. Can I roll perception on the orc?
Yes.
The butler. I just want to.
Verthech the butler. The proud. Verthech the proud.
Verthich the Proud!
That's what his mother called him, but she's dead.
Oh, God,
And she spoke Orcish, so he doesn't understand.
That's right. Yes.
Oh, God.
He is so coming with us. So I rolled a 19 on perception on him.
Mm-hmm.
He's shifting his feet. Are we the first people who have done this? Like, what's his feel about his feel of the room? Is he hiding his emotions well?
I better roll for Verthech, who is, of course, statted up in high detail in this adventure. He doesn't roll well on bluff or anything like that, so you do see pretty much through his thin exterior. He doesn't seem to feel uncomfortable about this conversation. He seems to take it as on face value that there's a heck of a lot of value in this box. You even see, let's say he looks slightly hopeful with mention of the promissory notes. Perhaps it might mean a new suit for him, or perhaps somewhere to sleep that isn't quite so moldy. So yeah, he's on board with this mission completely, as it were, on board.
Life. Oh, and he's on board like a ship.
Yeah, that's right.
I like a ship, which is where we're going.
I would like to cast Detect Thoughts on Albert.
Wow.
Which is me. So it's on my.
Hang on. Yeah.
And basically it allows me to read the thoughts of a creature. So Alberic in this case.
Okay, excellent. Does the subject know that a spell has been cast?
Doesn't tell me in the spell card. Let me have a look. Hang on. Sorry, looking up rules.
That's fine.
Starting on the stream. 231 detect thoughts.
Minus one strength.
Yeah, absolutely. Initially learn the surface thoughts of the creature, what's most on its mind at that moment. Does it tell me gain a spell? friends of a creature. You can read its thoughts. Doesn't say anything about it being aware.
Okay, that sounds good. So you need to now. Does it have semantic components and verbal components, or
It's got a BSM, so it's got a copper piece, and it requires me to mumble something and then concentrate.
okay? So you're going to have to try and do this stealthily, I presume, unless you're just going to all out do it in his face.
I think I'm going to, because I'm rather flamboyant. I'm just going to make a flamboyant gesture and essentially do the elements of the spell within the flamboyant gesture of my sort of cape flowy stuff.
You're always flamboyant just to hide when you actually are doing a spell. Everything is
Yeah. So basically, like, exactly right. I know people like that completely.
That's a fantastic idea. I'm going to let that work instantly. That sounds great. So you cast the spell.
What's he thinking?
What's he thinking? So he is filled with hope and trepidation.
Okay.
He seems to truly believe that this is the opportunity. He's a bit horrified with the small number that you are. He's conflicted about not having told the dwarves of the vessel that he's hired to take you there, the Soul of Winter, that there's a box, and he's worried that sort of deception is going to turn out poorly for him. But he hates and doesn't trust dwarves. But really, this vessel of dwarves was the only vessel that had a price low enough, disliked as they are generally in Saltmarsh, for him to hire. Yeah, he wants the vessel back, and he wants the box back at the very least. And he's impressed. He's impressed by Katira.
We all are.
So, continuing with my flamboyant gesture, I say, Albrecht, I can see hope that we are indeed, yes, we are, the adventurers to achieve your dreams, and there is no need for fear or trepidation. And as I can tell you now, there is no one more trustworthy than this dwarf. I just nod knowingly at him. And this mighty half-orc, who stands for 3 adventurers by herself. Oh yes, we are just who you've been looking for, and we will restore your fortunes.
Can I just say, I love that
wow.
D&D really. Like,
wow, that's perfect. If Murray had have gone a different pathway in life, the world could be in a very much worse place, and he could be very much richer.
There could be so many seminars.
That's right.
Yeah, damn it! Oh, there's time.
If you're in chat and you'd like to sign up for Murray's series of self-belief, your personality is an orange, peel back the layers of truth and success, guaranteed. Yeah, that's right.
Katira's feeling really good about herself.
Can I just say, this is the biggest self-help series you've ever had.
Yeah.
Kiri's like, I'm amazing.
A D&D self-help know your future seminar series on YouTube. Yes, indeed.
I love it.
So just so you know that the seminar comes free with a Syrinscape subscription.
It comes. Yes, there's a sound.
Hey Dan, who's in chat, our wonderful marketing genius and wonderful guy. I think we've got ourselves a new show on the Syrinscape Twitch channel. Simulcast on the Dice Stormers Twitch channel. D&D self-help. I love it.
$1 idea.
Yeah. You come with your characters, and he'll
grown-ups.
Yeah, you come with your characters, and you role play your future.
I might need to know your backstory, because then that will
you've got to have a quick chat with their DM before you actually go through with it, but then you can tell them their future.
Yeah.
So Albrecht excuses himself.
I see your.
I love it that we're playing Salvage Operations and really we're in the first paragraph, which is just perfect. I really love it. It's the way Dungeons and Dragons should be played.
Spend an hour on the first paragraph.
Yeah, absolutely. We're getting to know people's characters. We're getting to know people's characters, and can
I just say we're ahead of schedule?
We are.
That's really good.
We're exactly where we need to be.
Albrecht excuses himself and thanks you very much, and says he looks forward to hearing about what happens. He seems to let the mispronunciation of his name sort of slide off his back like a duck has water slide off its back, and somewhere deep in his thoughts as your spell trails. Thank you. As his spell trails off, you just hear this last fleeting thought, which is that no one will pronounce my name when I'm rich again. And wrong, yes. And Vertheg shows you down to the docks.
So
yes.
what is the exact pronunciation of his name?
Oh, Albrecht.
Albrecht.
Albrecht. Yes.
As he's leaving the room, I'll call out, "You can trust us, Albrecht." Very deliberately trying to get the pronunciation of his name perfectly correct.
And still getting it slightly wrong, which is just perfect. Vertheg.
A noble effort.
Shows you down to the docks, where yes, he shows you to the Soul of Winter, a small but sturdy vessel, crawling with dwarves. I did the 1920s docks instead of.
That does not agree with my fantasy.
Very steampunk.
That's so fantastic. Right.
It looks bigger than the Lusitania.
Can I just say, this is D&D 101, when it's just like, when you make a mistake, go with it. Yes,
totally.
It is. We are going on the Titanic.
The Titanic has
and we are
pulled
all happy.
in. Oh, it's so fantastic. Awesome. You go down to the docks.
This ship.
Decidedly medieval affair. There's a small but sturdy wooden vessel with square rig things. I know my vessel's Murray.
Wow, that's some real technical talk there. Don't go too far.
Square rigging. It's good. It's got the Soul of Winter carved into the side of the front, and the deck is the deck is crawling with hardy seafaring dwarves. Verthek. Yes.
Sorry, I was going to turn to Verthek and try and recruit him to come with us.
As an agent of Thingo.
So yes,
the rich guy.
Yes, absolutely.
Are you going to be accompanying us? I see adventure in your future.
I am not a sturdy fellow here like Kotira. He is so strong and
I want you to do that voice for the entire game.
I kind of look.
Yeah. That's all I want.
I want to recruit him to.
Yes, just to make Ben
do the voice the whole time.
No, I look at Pronos and I'm just going like.
I would blow away like a feather in the face of strength and like Kotira, but he is strong enough for you, I am Thor. Besides, I have no weapon.
We have the gold to buy them. You must have skill. Sure.
How are you at standing at the front of a battle?
I put my hand on Pronos' shoulder and I'm like, he will get snapped in half like a damn toothpick. We shouldn't take him, he'll die.
And then I'll can I just sneak in there and be like, but he will die first.
That's fantastic.
You've seen the future. Is he in our future?
Well, there are many paths to the future, as you well know. He was in one of them, but perhaps he does not need to be in all of them. I thought he could have been a chapter on his own, but...
Can I just say, you now go through the Avengers thing where you go through and see every single future, and it's just him dying in every single.
Yeah. No, I'm the D&D meme on how many futures does all of us being available at the same time to play happen.
That's right. Only one.
Only one.
And Iron Man has to. Oh, spoiler! No, I won't spoil that. Just in this tiny chance as someone who hasn't seen Endgame. Yes, but fantastic. So Verthek looking somewhat relieved, though tempted and excited by the prospect of being a hero, especially at Katira's side. So muscle bound.
Did he enjoy getting asked? But I know he's not coming, but the option that we thought he was valuable enough as an orc, half orc, that we wanted him to stand inside in front of us in a battle.
Yeah.
Did he
You were good enough to be my meat shield. You could have been such a
that's
good-
value.
He has a little tiny dream has sparkled into life. You know, perhaps there's a life after butlerhood, and he's going to go home and start doing sort of push-ups in the corridor outside his very, very small room.
When we come back and he's like addicted to like weight, he's like,
Right.
We meet up with him again in 20 sessions, and he's just jacked.
yeah, and he's like, what have you been doing? And it's like, every day has been leg day.
That's fantastic. No spoilers, man. Yes, okay, yes, definitely don't
Yeah,
spoil.
no spoilers. Yeah, in 20 sessions time, he could be. I don't know. Maybe.
That's right. Oh, that's
Yes.
fantastic.
All right.
So, looking desperately at his notes. Volga, Windroom. Ah! No, okay, hang on. Scottish. I've got to find my Scottish accent. That's right. Okay, so coming down the gangplank, having
I
seen
love that that's your words to get it. I've got to find
my Scottish
Yeah, you
accent.
gotta have a phrase. You gotta
You have to have a
for accents.
phrase.
That's how it works.
But yeah, Volgar's one personality trait is he keeps just turning aside and quietly saying, "I've got to find a Scottish accent" to himself.
Got a Scottish
Don't
accent.
let them know I'm not Scottish.
So striding down the gangplank to meet you and the half-orc butler sort of just gently indicates and quickly withdraws, slightly conflicted about the double play that's happening to these dwarves, perhaps. And Volgar comes striding and says, "Hello, how are you? I presume you're the adventurers that Ulrich told me about."
Yes, we are. I am Kronos, and I see the future. I see adventure in your future and wealth.
Oh, I'm not
And
sure
this-
about adventure. I'm not such a fan of adventure, but wealth is quite fine.
Oh, you don't see salvage as an adventure.
Well, I hope it's something straightforward, you know. Just sail out to this vessel and put a skeleton crew on it and sail it back again. It sounds straightforward to me. I hope there's no beasties or anything like that. I think chat should rate my accent as it waxes and wanes, right? Out of 10, because it's pretty damn good right now, but it's not going to stay good. It's going to head to Pakistan for sure.
I want to know if we've got anyone Scottish in the chat, because they might turn
Oh
around.
no, gods no.
Can I just say, my
That's our
favorite
hard
thing is
to
when you...
please, man.
Yeah. I love it when you start an accent. It always starts wherever you want.
Yeah,
right?
exactly, precisely.
Pakistani.
Right?
Like, it
And it
just...
gets
It,
really
it's like,
higher.
yeah. I don't know why, but it always ends in Pakistani or South Africa.
That's
It
right,
just- it
definitely.
looks-
The nicest one we had, though, was the Swedish viewer, who was very kind to Ben's attempt at Swedish.
Yeah, it was
I know.
lovely.
That's what
These
kind
are
of...
very kind
That's
people.
what we want.
But I'm not going to think about that. I'm not going to think about my Swedish accent. Don't think about my Swedish accent. I've got to find my
I
Scottish
just gotta
accent.
say, I'm Katira, I hit things. If there's any beasties, I'll hit them, don't worry. And I just kind of go bump up the gangplank onto the ship.
Yes,
Can I
excellent.
ask a question? How often do dwarves get called sailors? Because
Yeah.
my instance is that dwarves don't sail. That's like stone, earth, ground, safety. Like
That's right.
that's
Absolutely.
what I've understood.
This
What
is this,
kind of dwarf goes out on an ocean?
did you say this to
desperate
him? Do you say this to him?
Yeah,
Or, yeah.
Dwarvish.
I take
Dwarvish.
offence at that.
Oh,
We're a
good.
fine crew. That's why we are priced quite reasonably, but that's just the local market. You can't sell. Oh no, that's wrong. You can't. I've got to find my Scottish accent. You can't sell
can't sell?
seafaring dwarves in Saltmarsh apparently, but we're quite adequate. If you sail with us, you'll see. And yes, indeed, if that large buff thing can take care of, any trouble, that will be quite welcome. It's good to
That
meet
big-
you either way, Mr. Dwarf.
that big meatball of muscle. Like, I'm gonna be like, so oceans, can you swim? I'm not very good at swimming, and I presume you need to if you're out in the ocean. And I just look at him like, but why you do what you do? Look,
That's right. Yes. You're a mystery to me. You don't need to swim if you don't fall in. That's what I always say. That's what my sweet father used to say as well. Until he drowned, obviously.
What happened? I was about to say, that's what happened. So, yeah, was this boat an inheritance? Is that the...
Oh, well, you know, I pride myself. There's been no swimming incidents on this vessel for at least... He looks up and there's a sign up on the mast. No swimming incidents for 32 days. That's right, yes.
Is this one of those technical things that nobody who fell off the boat could swim? So
that's right, yeah, exactly. No swimming incidents, that's
God.
right. Well, make yourself at home. I'd prefer if you stick to your cabin if it's able. I have to find my Scottish accent. Yes, there'll be no trouble. We sail out to this vessel. It may take a bit of finding, but I've been given the approximate coordinates. At which point, you secure the vessel, make sure there's nothing funny going on, and we'll sail it back for this Albrecht and get our fee.
Okay. I'm going to have a holy moment where I'm going to ask my God if I should go on this boat.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just going to pray.
You're going to pray? You're going to actually pray augury or whatever it is?
Yeah, and I'm gonna pray just before I jump on the boat. Just I'm actually gonna channel as well. I'm gonna use my spell for the day.
Wow.
And I'm just gonna heal. I know that we're all fully healed already, but I'm just gonna make sure. Just gonna top everybody up, just because I'm worried, and that's I do.
That sounds very good. I love it. Okay, so you channel positive energy.
Well, yeah, it's more nervous energy rather than positive.
Nervous energy. Love it.
I'm gonna channel some nervous energy. And we'll see what that does. I'm not sure, but it will definitely do something.
Wow. Do you do this as you walk up the gangplank, perhaps? So sort of,
Yeah, I do it awkwardly on the dock. So I walk before I step onto the plank. I'm just like, oh God, don't let us die, kind of. But I do it in Dwarvish, so only the crew can hear.
Excellent.
Oh my God, amazing.
There's one passing porter who was pushing
it.
a large thing of boxes who had a severe hangnail, which is beautifully and magically healed. And when he gets home that evening and takes off his boot, he's absolutely convinced that it was the fact that he pushed the carts all day with just his right hand because his left hand had been a bit sore that caused this miracle, and is never more to touch the handle of a cart with his left hand.
Yeah, and he starts a seminar group based on that.
But it fails dismally because he's actually not very good at public speaking. But yeah, he still believes in himself.
As Katira gets onto the ship, she kind of wants to... She's sort of being a half-orc and, that big muscly thing that she is a little used to not warm receptions places. Mm-hmm. And she just kind of wants to, read the room.
Read the room.
Is anybody giving her weird looks or anything?
Is this like a jail thing where you punch the biggest guy and where?
Right. It might be.
Well, I think ships can work in that way.
Just so you know, Murray, with me and the dwarves, you're the biggest guy in the room. Just putting it out there, okay?
I'm enjoying the height advantage.
Awesome. So give me a perception check, Katira.
Okay. Jeez Louise. Okay, first roll of the game, boys. That's a nat 1.
Oh!
Hey, Pronos. Hey, I think you got a 17 in your back pocket.
Yeah, I have to make a call before the roll is made. Sorry.
Oh, do you?
Oh, never mind. Oh, jeez, Louise, before the roll. That would be pretty overpowered otherwise, I guess. Son of a bee sting.
So most of the dwarves seem, according to your perception, seem happy to have you on board. They just take it as a part of the mission, whatever. Their boss is in control of it. You do see one dwarf who's curling some ropes. Larry the dwarf. If Chat can come up with a better name than Larry, they'd be most welcome. He's curling, he's rolling some ropes into a barrel, and he looks very sus. From your assessment of him, sorry, Murray, yes, yep.
I want permission to make a dad joke about Larry.
Excellent.
Who's coiling a lariat. Oh, a rope joke. Bloody awesome.
Lariat! Lariat, Larry!
Lariat, Larry! Oh my God!
Larry.
Well done.
I don't even understand that joke. That's fantastic. But now he must permanently be called, Larry. So Larry looks very sus. From as much as you can tell, Katira, Larry really finds you just really vile. He's actually a high-level dwarf racist, and clearly, you know, has assessed you as being trouble, has assessed you as being something he's probably going to steal things from, has assessed you as something he's going to try and one-up all the time. Whether this perception of yours is correct or not, we'll never know. But, yeah.
A lariat is a long, light rope of hemp or leather used for running a noose to catch livestock, or with or without the noose for tethering grazing animals, also known as a lasso. Or a lasso.
You know what? You were watching a D&D stream, and you didn't think you'd learn.
So he's doing that thing that he's curling the rope so he can throw it over the port things for later.
He's doing like the lasso.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
So what you're saying is,
Cari,
her instinct is to get into a fist fight with this guy, but she takes one step forward and hears that jingle, jangle, jingle of platinum in her pocket, and remembers she doesn't want to mess this up. So just kind of like takes a second, sort of memorize like what he's wearing, what he looks like, and just makes a note to like kind of keep an eye on him.
Yeah, absolutely.
So can I just say, Larry, who's just doing his job, is sitting there, and this orc comes up and like literally gives him the eye up, like, "Oi!" And he's like, he's just trying to loop the rope faster now. Like,
that's right. Fantastic.
Never been so fearful and attracted in the same life. Like he's just like, "Ah!" It's just adrenaline.
So you guys are shown to your cabin, asked to keep out of the way. Meanwhile, the final preparations for the voyage of the Soul of Winter to head out to try and find whatever the heck the other ship's called. The Emperor of the Waves makes its way out to sea. So you're on the vessel, voyaging out on the Soul of Winter. I'm going to place you guys chatting. I'd like someone to be chatting to one of the dwarves. Would you like to? Maybe we could have Katira chatting to Larry, trying to sort of, intimidate him or scope out the situation or something.
I go up to I want to go up to Larry. And what's he working on today? Is he still winding rope, or is he doing something else?
So he's always winding ropes. That's what he does, and he just tries to keep to himself. He tries to go around and reorganize the ropes, make sure they're nice and neat. And that's sort of his job, especially more recently since you've sort of appeared on the vessel, Katira. He's tried to sort of keep more and more to his job, stay out of social situations, just really, really stick to that. This vessel has been sailing for like a couple of days now. The weather has been quite wavy, as you can hear. The wind has been good and strong. The dwarf crew seems relatively competent. The vessel's no sighting yet of the Emperor of the Waves, the vessel you're seeking, but it's sort of apparently in the west, and so the first thing they're doing is getting out the distance that they thought they were going. Oh yay! Nice by nature. Excellent. How is your cam going, Murray? Are you plugging in and out again?
I've taken it out and put it back in, and it's for some reason is not. Anyway, I will try. I will keep trying.
One, you can just do Cari and Ben. Cam.
Yeah, perfect.
I can. Well, okay, that's right. So meanwhile, Mary, I think if you make sure you select the correct camera input, possibly leave the Skype call and come back in, right?
Okay, I'll try
and
that.
I shall go to Cari. Yeah, excellent. Mm-hmm. So so this dwarf, you sort of approach him. I don't know what you can obviously work out what your intentions are. He's like, looks up, sort of coiling a rope.
Katira is bored out of her frickin' mind after these several days at sea and staying more or less in her cabin, and he's like, "Can I give you a hand with that?"
Sure you can. Yes. And he sort of hands the rope to you.
I take the rope, and because my forearm is pretty long, I start like winding it up like an extension cord, and I'm going fast, and I'm just kind of trying to feel this out, because Katira has, this might surprise you, but she has read people incorrectly before, and she's just kind of trying to make sure this guy is a jerk, because if he's not, she doesn't want to ruin everything. So right now she's feeling like maybe this is one of those situations where she was wrong, and she's just like winding the rope up. And it's like, so how long have you been on the Soul Winter?
I came recently, actually. Yes, given into the employ. My father got me this job. Said the sea air would be good for my lung condition.
Oh my God, his lung. Like, well, what? You guys get jobs out of Saltmarsh often, or not?
No, we're traveling to more friendly towns. That they don't really like dwarves here, particularly, unfortunately. So the fees we can get here are not very good. So I've been told, as I've heard around. Yes.
Yeah, I've heard the same. Well, I'm used to that too. So we'll just have to stick together then, eh?
Very good, very good, very good.
I like Larry again.
That's lovely. That's lovely. That's really lovely. At that moment, Katira, if you give me a perception check.
Oh, for God's sake. Oh, God. Let's see if I can roll something other than a 1. Hey!
Here we are.
That's a proper roll.
A 19.
Right.
That's fantastic. So let me know, Murray and Nathan, if Murray appears back in Skype, and I'll turn his video back on. Just died. We'll have your lovely portrait.
Yes.
Creeping up, Katira, its head and its scaly, frightening eyes just showing a little bit over the side of the boat.
Oh.
A 19. Some kind of lizardy, unattractive, horrible creature.
Like a dwarf.
I want to...
Like a dwarf, but scaly.
I want to push Larry out of the way and pull out my axe.
Oh, wow. So you sort of lunge at Larry while drawing your weapon. Is that what you do?
Yeah. I want to make sure that Larry takes the Grumnim path, which is to get the hack behind me. And, yeah.
So he cries out and stumbles to the side as you probably sort of far more forcefully than you intended push him aside as this sea creature comes climbing up over the deck.
Oh, God. I call out to the others, boys, we got company!
Excellent. Everyone roll for initiative.
I saw that coming.
Yes.
I knew that would happen, he says.
Yeah, I saw that coming, but I wasn't.
I got a 3. So
3.
Clearly I didn't see it coming.
Excellent.
I got a 13.
13.
I got a 15 with a -1.
15 with a -1. Okay, that means Nathan gets to go first. And then we're going to go anti-clockwise, because that actually works perfectly. Around this screen, Nathan, Cari, Murray, Ben. What do? You just hear this cry, "We've got company!"
So I do this, Ben. I do that, and then I do that. Because defense is the fourth. So I run. I courageously take a step towards the door and peek around.
Excellent.
And I go to my rule 5, which is eyes open, ears alert. Always check. So I will my bed. I will look at.
Yep.
My ears. Traps on the.
Oh, I'm getting tiny fragments of Nathan. Is everyone else hearing him? Oh, you look out, Nathan,
No,
and
I'm getting fragments.
Yep. And you see Katira, her enormous axe, swinging backwards to attack. You don't know what. Maybe he's attacking Larry. She's attacking Larry. You've seen her looking sus at him for quite a while. You're not quite sure what's happening. She's certainly got her axe out. Larry's been falling back in terror. And what do you do?
I courageously and between have her.
Oh, I'm losing Nathan. Try and say that again.
I run forward and draw my.
Yes, you run forward and draw your hammer. I got that.
stand behind you.
You stand behind Katira. Okay, good. Excellent. Katira, what do you do? This is now your actual turn.
I want to step forward and hit this lizard dude.
Excellent.
Please.
Swing.
Bam. Come on. It's only an 11 to hit.
Only an 11. An 11 to hit is a miss. So yeah. So how do you miss? I mean, it's coming up over the railing. I suppose you swing down.
I think probably in my effort to push Larry, I'm a little off balance, and I try to like push him, pull out my axe, and hit this guy all at the same time, and that's just kind of one too many things, and I miss.
So it swishes over the top of him, and perhaps trying not to hit Larry, obviously, and since Larry's such a nice guy, and this creature avoids him. Excellent. Avoids the axe. Murray, what do you do?
I'm going to point at. No, I'm going to impose on. So I don't know what lizard parents do with their young hatchlings and their eggs, but I'm sure that it's a semi-nurturing. They lay the eggs and then they lie on top of the eggs in the nest. I'm going to fire into the mind of this lizard creature the disapproval of its mother for its.
So you rush to the door, you rush out of the cabin in response to Katira's cry. Oh, everything's going so slow. And you, looks like Cari's frozen now. And everything's frozen. Oh.
Am I?
No, you're good now. You're good.
I can't get my camera going at all. I have an answering on with my camera. But anyway.
Right.
And I basically impose into disapproval of its parent.
Disapproval. So you see Katira attacking this lizard creature, and then you instantly assess it as an enemy since you knew it was coming, and you do this spell. Excellent. Go for it. What effect does that have?
So it's essentially a mind spike. It needs to make a DC 15 Wisdom save.
DC 15 Wisdom save. Okay, I can do that. It fails. Rather, I can't.
Okay, it's going to take 3d6 psychic damage.
3d6 psychic damage.
No,
Wow,
sorry,
that's
3d8 psychic damage.
3d8. Woo.
Get him.
Where are the
12 damage.
12 damage. Excellent. Okay. And we will persist a little bit longer, but obviously we are possibly having technical difficulties which may take us out. So what happens to this creature in sort of the advent of this psychic damage? Does it look sort of...
Well, I think it sort of shrivels away slightly as it remembers the sort of disapproving of its parent. Whether it did something wrong when it was eating one of its brothers or sisters, or venturing from the nest, some kind of memory from its upbringing that just hurts it to recall, and it sort of just causes it pain.
Wow, so it feels
I don't
like...
want to make this game a therapy session, but we've all got those memories.
We do. Little things that sting when you remember them. Absolutely.
Yes.
Wow. Causing only motivation to more fervently inflict damage on all of the world, including in itself, really ironically and metaphorically, its own personality. It attacks Katira. Yep.
I saw the agony of this lizard coming, so I'm going to impose a natural 1 on its roll right now.
Oh,
my
boom!
God.
Using
Well
portent.
done. Well done.
So you try and thwart my damage. I'll make my damage double by saying, "Oh no, you just did a critical fail."
Oh, so it comes up over the barrier with up over the railing with hate and venom in its little tiny lizardy mind, and draws back with its spear to stab at this horrifically buff looking half orc. The spear the end of the spear gets stuck in the railing of the ship, so that when it rotates, it actually snaps off the end of its tridenty, speary, stabby thing, and it drives instead into the deck and it stumbles forward on one knee at the feet of Katira.
What,
Ben,
Yes.
I just ask, what language does it speak? Does it speak deep speech? Common?
Language. Where are languages listed on a D&D stat block?
Under the armor
language.
weapons. Yep.
It's as in, can your character tell what language
Yeah.
it speaks?
Well, if it speaks deep speech or common, I would probably know. But I just want to make some cutting remark that should
Yeah,
listen to its mother.
you're not aware that it speaks one of
Okay.
those languages, or you're
I-
not even sure what it is at this stage.
All right, I'll call out in common that you should have listened to your
Oh,
mother.
perhaps it's got a little tiny bit of common. Yes.
Brutal.
Broken. Is that the one that gave to him as an heirloom before he died?
Obviously, it's the only option.
Oh,
Excellent. So I think perhaps with the technical level of technical difficulties we're experiencing right now, I think it might be good to leave the game for today on this epic moment with Sahuajin coming up from all sides onto the deck to attack the fine crew and the adventuring party. And we shall.
my God.
Nathan and I will continue to work on getting my PC going even better. I'm not sure what the connection thing is. Could be Australia, could be the heat, could be the humidity. But it's been wonderful having you all play with me. Thank you. I'm sorry to have to cut us off there.
Thank you.
that's
no
all right.
worries.
That's an epic moment of mid-combat.
Yeah.
That is
Really,
amazing.
I've had so much
To
fun.
be continued.
Yeah, to be continued. So the intention is, chat, is for us to play at this time every week, wherever you are, in the various different time zones. There's multiple posts on our Twitter and on our Facebook saying all the different time zones which you can adjust from yourself. And we're going to play through this fantastic adventure, the Salvage Operations. It's very written down. It's a very, very straightforward and simple dungeon crawl in a kind of a 4th edition style. But we're going to use this opportunity to show how we can use Syrinscape and our tools of imagination and role-playing to really, really enrich and this is actually, ironically, this sort of structure of adventure is the one I like the best, one that gives you the tools where you have just a series of encounters, a bit of an outline of what can happen, and then we can all use our narrative skills around that and to turn it into something else and create diversions and all sorts of things. Yeah.
The orc and everything. Like half the stuff we've spoken about today actually wasn't written in the book.
That's right. Some of it was just totally from other places where I can't imagine where. That's right. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. That's the best. That's the best kind of stuff.
I had such a wonderful time playing with you guys. Thank you so much. It's super, super fun.
And we
Yeah,
with you.
thank you.
Yay!
Yes. Same. Samesies.
Same. So we'll be back next week for the same time. We'll just work on whatever we can get to get the technique. Maybe it was me showing the maps that slowed things down. Murray's definitely having trouble.
That's when my camera disappeared. Was when I clicked on the map. So I don't know what happened.
Everything kind of started to chug with the map.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right. So perhaps there's some wonderful. Maybe that Google Maps doc is sort of sending and receiving data quite significantly, or whatever. So we could do the map inside OBS.
We'll work on it for sure.
We shall work on it. It's wonderful. And yeah, thank you, chat, for being there with us. It's wonderful to have a good, consistent crowd the whole time. Tell your friends. If you like the show, tell your friends about it. If you found the show unbearable and painful, tell your enemies about it. So we can inflict our role-playing style. Do put in a guess for who you thought who you think the voice actor behind the voice of Albrecht in the Salvage Operation sound set. If you're a super siren or have access to that some other way, you'll be able to play it multiple times, and there will be a prize. So see if you can get that right, and it shall be announced next week.
My character knows what the prize will be, but I can't say.
You can't say it.
Say
Secret.
I heard. And I don't know who it was, but I voiced before, so it's just doing my head in.
Yeah, it is. Would you like me to play one more take of this wonderful voice actor and talented D&D creator? All right, ready?
Yes.
Thank you for meeting with me. Thank you. I'm Albrecht Dralian.
but
I
legally
need
you have to
brave
put it in the
souls
chat
such
now.
as yourselves to complete a salvage operation for me.
Who is that? Who is that? Next week.
It is so familiar.
He's a wonderful guy, a beautiful guy, a talented voice actor, and obviously makes really good games. Thank you so much for playing. And next week, not only will we find out who that voice actor is, but we shall also find out whether the party can survive the first challenge on their salvage operation in the Ghost of Saltmarsh. So, yeah. Bye, everyone.
It's my turn when we come back.
Yes, it is. Don't forget that.